we're going to hope that the lads aren't lying and that the rain is coming. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Republic of Motorsport. It is Season 3, Round 7. It's the French Grand Prix. I have managed to be joined by Skills this afternoon. Now, what's the situation, Rich? You told me you were working. Have you brought your Xbox to work, or what was the plan there?
Well, I managed to rush home, get out of work early for a fantastic, I would love to say a full grid, but a grid of 13 drivers, Matt. So, always a pleasure to be alongside you. French Grand Prix normally throws up a good race. I certainly hope so. Hope no one bins it as well, because we need every one of these races here today. But yeah, a bit disappointing to see sunshine. But what's on the forecast? What's on the menu today, Matthew?
Well, for starters, we have a delightful bit of drizzle in the early phases of the race. For the main course,
It's called Drazzy.
A gentle downpour, and then for dessert, a drying phase of the race. We have received word from the drivers that it is going to be a wet race, and with a grid of 13 drivers, I think we needed that, didn't we? A bit of rain to keep this one interesting.
Yeah, the problem is I think it's going to kill a few of them off, especially when you get on power as you go through that tight twisty sort of S before the back straight. That's where you can see a few of them just spear off into that left-hand barrier and disappear. And yeah, a number of ample opportunities to bin it in the wet conditions around here, and also to invalidate a lap time, even though we've got so much circuit to choose from. You can get quite dizzy around here with the hallucinogenic kind of markings around the circuit, but we've got championship leader just starting a lap. It's Maitland. He has not messed around, has he, Matt?
Well, he's got in there quickly, and he's done a 29.4 first lap off the day. We'll see where that lines up compared to everybody else. As you say, championship leader is on a lap. We're following him now in the Mercedes. Little news for any viewers. He managed to hold on to his win last week. Neither Vettel or Ford picked up any penalties last week, which was a bit of a surprise, considering they couldn't keep their hands off each other. We were on the verge of telling them to get a room. It was getting a bit ridiculous.
Yeah, they left love bites all over each other, but yeah, it is what it is, as they say. And the race report from last time out was we had one incident. It was between RSF1 Vettel, Ford and James. So lap 20, Ford and Vettel were battling from turn 1 to turn 6. Going into turn 6, both drivers are side by side. Was coming up behind James 95. When entering the corner, James runs slightly wide on old mediums. I don't know why the tyre is relevant. Ford and Vettel both go up the inside, and all three drivers make contact as the track narrowed for the right-hander on the straight. This was deemed a racing incident and no further action. Highly controversial, mate. We'll leave it there, shall we? Put a pin in that.
Yeah. An interesting decision is the words we shall use to describe it. But moving back to the French Grand Prix, we've got 7 cars set a lap, and Smates is still the fastest of all of them. He lines up ahead of the McLaren, and it's Tommy Reel, P3, Yanni, Ford, Westons, and Aki of those who have gone so far. Ludlow to the line, and he jumps up into P5. Not a good lap for Ford. Off the bat, you'd have to say. A little bit off the pace.
Yeah, he tends to do this. Lures us into a false sense of security. Then normally bangs it on there in the last stints. Let's hope that's not the sort of the idea today. And also, Matt, of course, drivers will be looking to put a wet setup on maybe. Some people will just stick to the dry setup. So we'll see who's compromised and how much, I suppose, in the first stint of the race itself. But Snipes pops himself into P1 with a 29.2. So quite a good spread as it stands. Of course, everyone will opt for the soft tyre due to the wet initial stages of the race, meaning that you can throw these tyres in the bin and slap on a set of intermediates.
Love a good bit of intermediates. Yellow flags in Sector 2. I think that's just someone probably running out of fuel. Standard, as you do in qualifying. Drazzy with an invalidation.
Oh, good night, Pez. Oh,
Rest in peace. He's done. He's had enough. Oh, so no, for real, he has had enough. So there's now 12. Fab.
groovy.
You can just sense the disappointment.
Well,
right
the McLaren
now.
driver, he's had enough. Have you had enough, Matt? Or you still content? You're looking forward to the rain, aren't you? I know.
If it wasn't raining, I'd just be struggling. But you know, it is going to rain, and that's keeping hope alive right now. The button to like take control as well of like Max Verstappen's car or something, that also looks pretty damn hot right now.
No, you want Mazepin's car. You want Mazepin's car.
No, we don't want Mazepin's car.
Mazepin.
No.
Maximum pain.
No, we don't want to drive a Haas. That's just death. James has joined. Did he leave, did he?
Well,
nice.
Who knew?
Welcome back.
Wish you were here, James, and you are. Welcome back. 9 minutes 40 remaining. We could have gone with a one-shot quality at this rate, couldn't we? That would have been a lot more enthralling. However, we have
a bit more dramatic as well. I think we could have done some shouting about that for a couple minutes and then just got on to racing.
So expect a good race for Tommy. Hope to see him go well. Maitland, good strong track predominantly for him. Always been a good stomping ground. In the south of France, in Le Castellet, pour Ricard. Was that lawn up to P8? 29.9. Tightly packed, 8th, 9th, 10th position.
In the Alpine, mate, he's on his the team's home circuit. They will be looking to impress the other Alpine of Drazzy. It is back in pit lane after invalidating his attempt, so it is Snipes who maintains his provisional pole for the time being by 0.2 of a second. Then it's mates Pez in P3 who had to go pick up his dad. That's why he's left. So Tommy Real then P4, then it's D-Money, Yanni, Ludlow, Lawn, B Ford, still vibing in pit lane. He'll want to get out there and improve. I'm surprised nobody's gone for mediums. It's a wet start to the race, isn't it? That would be why. There you go. Say it out loud and I realised. Nice.
So let's try and fill some of the gaps here, because we've got quite a long circuit, and B4 leads the Drivers' Championship on 116 points. He has 2 wins, 3 pole positions, and surprisingly, no fastest laps to his name. In the gentleman P2, he's the one and only Snipes SB. He's had 1 race win this season. He's had 1 do not start, but he's 34 points adrift. He has 1 fastest lap to his name. Person in P3 has 71 points. No wins, no poles, no fastest laps. But 11 points off Snipes, and that's Drazzy. So Drazzy's on course, you'd say, for a race win sometime soon, wouldn't you say, Matt?
Yeah, he's definitely got the potential to back himself a race victory. We've not seen that all come together on a race weekend so far this season, but he's probably a sort of overdue a victory, isn't he?
Yeah. Then P4 is the McLaren driver, P5 Ludlow. Again, Ludlow, Mr. Consistent there. Just, turns up. Some points on the board. Only 1 podium so far this season, but finds himself in P5. And James, P6. He's had a good start to this season in P6, the championship. Tommy Real, P7. He should be a title contender, but either doesn't turn up or he doesn't finish. He won the opening race, and that was in Bahrain. And who can forget last year in Qatar? Doing donuts before the end. That's a Hollywood star in the making. But Tommy, you really need to get your act together, mate, and you really need to knuckle down and put a bit more graft in, I'd say. And you've definitely got the potential. And we've got Weston's Yanni, Celtic, Shaney, another one if he turned up more. Vettel, Ghostly, Maitland if he finished more. Aki, Lawn, Dacey, Lewis, D-Money, Finishmore, Stato, Hoob, Cornabir. I don't know why they put you on the standings map, but in the constructors, Mercedes lead the charge, 158 points, 25 ahead of Alfa Romeo, then McLaren, Alpine, Tauri, Aston, Ferrari, Red Bull, Williams, and As.
We love a good bit of ass.
Oui.
Anyway, I am on the standings because I am officially a reserve in this league, but I've been doing all the streaming, so not much reserving going on this season. B Ford currently P10. I think he's about to make his way up the order a little bit. Not gonna lie, he arrives at the final corner now, clips the apex on the inside, picks up the throttle gently, little bit loosely, but goosey there on the curb. DRS open drives to the line and puts himself up into P3 at 29.4, still 2/10 off the pole time. That's a 1:29.2 for Snipes, about half a tenth clear of Tommy Real in P2. He put in a decent time. Then yeah, it's B Ford and Smate in P4, who invalidated his most recent attempt. May still have some time in it though. Yellow flags in sector 0, I think it said there. Or was it lap 0? I don't know. Standard stuff, anyway. D-Money starting his lap. And
Where's
with the
sector 0, the car
invalidation-
park? Or the entrance to the racetrack?
I think it said lap 0 instead of sector 0, but yeah, sector 0 would be pit lane maybe?
That's sector 1, isn't it? There's got to be somewhere else. Maybe at the bar.
Maybe.
Maybe
The
you've got
hotel.
code yellow in the bar.
Yeah.
Someone's handed up and fallen over in the bar. You've got yellow flags at the bar. And slow down.
Oh, and
You've
we're
got
just
Richard
hearing
on the
news
floor.
that it is Richie Skills who's fallen over in the bar. Yep, standard stuff. It honestly wouldn't surprise me. Thing is, D-Money continues to try and improve his lap for the Williams, but not anymore because he's invalidated. Why do I speak, Rich? Why do I still talk about what's going on my screen? I should just talk about nonsense and then I wouldn't curse anyone.
So for the ladies and gentlemen at home, basically Matthew, he sits there with a voodoo doll in his hand and a big needle in the other. And he's got little mini-me's of all the drivers and the cars as well. And he just decides to prick them once they get on air. And that's why you'll see them. You'll see them spin off. You'll see them invalidate, and you just see them have a little twitch. And death will be among us. So yeah. What
It's nice of you to reveal my secrets. I don't want everybody knowing it's all scripted. Thank you very much.
It's not scripted, Matt. It's a big ceremony. It's a big thing in your life. I understand. You know. You like to play a bit of black magic on everyone, and much to their own. You have to make a
A
sacrifice.
bit of black magic on you in a minute. Cheeky shit. Oh, bye, Dingers. Dingers has done a drift and is now going the wrong way.
Another one
Whoops,
bites
my
the
bad.
dust. And another one now. Another one now. Another one bites the dust. Sorry, niggas.
We just found out why Rich did not get his career in music off to a good start. Oh dear. Weston's coming to start his lap. Aki, nice invalidation. Snipes, nice invalidation. Yeah. Lawn, nice invalidation. Dingers, nice invalidation. Let's just stick with Weston's because he seems to be the only one not having invalidated so far. Aki's had enough. Oh, that was a wee bit twitchy from Weston's. Kept it together though, and he is currently improving on his personal best. He's currently P11. Not ideal. Would be hoping to make his way a touch further up the order.
Are you still with your qualifying lap? My mind just went a bit. I was thinking, like, right now we should be doing a podcast or something, really, shouldn't we?
We should. That would be
I think that'd be
fabulous.
far better use of our time. We're only getting 13 drivers. We might get more viewers even. You know? Who knows? Let us know in the postcard if you'd like to see that. PO box, I don't give a _ Matthew
I
Condit.
say where are we sending postcards to? I don't want to be receiving postcards. Thank you very much.
And you can email that to mattc@onlyfans.net. That's mattc@onlyfans.net.
Yep, doing a hot tub stream later. Yeah, if we get enough views, I'll show my nipple a little bit, but only if you ask nicely.
He'll write your name across his nipple. That's what he'll do.
Oh dear, why do I say these things on the internet?
You cannot delete it, Matt. It's there forever.
Yeah, it's a good thing Twitch removes videos after a couple weeks. I think between us,
Well,
we've
it's
said enough
imagine
things
YouTube.
to get us
Don't worry.
put on several registers. Snipes, back to the racing, Rich. Right, let's get.
I'm already on the register.
back
I
to
ain't got
Boston.
nothing to worry about. I'm okay.
Alright, calm down. Snipes' speed to the line to improve. His original pole time was a 29.2. Crosses the line, does improve to a 28.9. The first driver to drop below the 89 second barrier. Good stuff there for Snipes. Tommy Real has invalidated. He will not improve any further. Drazzy locked in P3. B Ford is improving, but he has also invalidated. So he's locked into P4 at best. Smates is improving 1/10 up at the end of the middle sector. He's coming through that final sector now. Gets on the throttle and drives the car towards the penultimate corner. He's very low on the battery. He's probably done a couple laps here, but maybe we'll see if the tyres have still got enough in it to push him up the order some more. Comes out the final corner, driving for the line. It's a 28.9 to beat. Can he get close to it? Cross the line, and he moves himself up to P4. 29.3, 4/10 off the pole, but does move himself up a couple of places. We got Ludlow still pushing. James still pushing. James comes through that final corner now. Is he getting a slipstream off B Ford? Bit of team play here from the Mercedes. Is it going to pay off for James? No, maintains P12, unable to move up the order. We're on board with Ludlow, who I think is still going. No, he's not, because, you know, when you're at 1 minute 28 and you've not even got to the final corner yet, you're probably not going to improve. So that is the end of qualifying. Snipes is on pole for Alfa Romeo. Tommy Real there in P2. And it's Drazzy, Smates, Yanni, B Ford, Pez, who's not here, Lorne, Ding is D-Money, Ludlow, Westons, James and Aki, P13 to round off the grid. Fabulous.
Fan-freaking-tastic. And the best news is, sorry Ben, but B Ford in P6. I absolutely know how it is to be a Max Verstappen fan now. I'm a big Hamilton fanboy, but just to see the guy who dominates the championship, you know, qualify a bit out of the order, you love to see that, you know. Just a little...
Mark, super Mark. Sorry, I get a bit distracted.
I don't like Max either though, but I understand the hate.
Oh, we all love Max. I know deep down you've got a little cupboard full of all the Max merchandise. You're wearing your little Max hat and you've got like a little lion there, Dutch flags, and you know.
I do have a Red Bull jacket, just because I liked it.
You're that guy who goes to, like, you know, you go stay over your mate's house and you're like, oh yeah, can I put on some white noise to help me go to sleep? And then you start playing Super Max because you're just that obsessed.
Oh god, kill me now.
Gladly. Snipes, pole position. Tommy Real P2, missed out there by just under 3/10. Drazzy in P3. Smates P4, don't worry about him. He'll be out of the race within a couple laps. Only 0.02 of a second ahead of Yanni in P5. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and Snipes took pole position by some margin, edging on 0.3 of a second there. So is that an indication that he's gone for quite a dry setup? We know this guy, he can manage a dry setup in the wet conditions. Bit of a wet master as well. Struggled initially on this year's platform of game. And we can confirm that it is
that's a bit
absolutely...
that's, wow. Oh, yeah, that's a bit... It's a bit wet there, a bit moist. Someone ought to get on the phone to McLaren and tell them, Pit Norris, it's time for him to come in because those dryers ain't going to be working anymore.
It's only 3 laps, he'll be alright.
No, it's not going to be alright because he's going to spin and he's going to throw the race because he decided he didn't want to pit. To be fair, who do we blame on it? It's a team loss, isn't it? It's not a Lando error, it's a team error. him not coming in.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was a bit too much respect shown to the driver. We saw it with
Yeah.
the other side as well with Lewis. The team initially listened. They then saw what was going on elsewhere. They probably saw the delta times. Certain parts of the circuit got damp a lot quicker. They can see the way that the weather front is moving in, and how it would impact the rest of the circuit, in the next couple of minutes. And yeah, they should have, forced his hand more. But when they saw Lewis dive into the pits, they've already lost the position at that point. What did they have? Around a 40-second advantage, maybe 30 seconds to the next pack of cars at that point, in addition to that pit stop. So I can kind of understand why they had a lot to play with. When you're that lead car, do you want to come into the box if you really have to, Matt? If it's your first ever win. If it was me, I can understand it. You've got a quicker driver behind you, an 8-time champion. It's like me having snipes up my gearbox. Okay, we're in Australia. We're there. We've got 2 laps to
Did you
go.
just call him an 8-time world champion?
No, I'm comparing him to Lewis, and to Lando's situation.
You call Lewis an 8-time world champion?
Oh, I just did, didn't I? Call me Christian and slap me silly. I just done that, didn't I? Oh dear.
You just
Just casually, sorry.
F1 scripted concerned. Richard knows. Somebody's told him. Rich, don't give spoilers. They haven't shown the rest of us yet. We don't know how it ends.
Okay, if I've got 100 race Grand Prix winner up my gearbox, and I've been leading the race for that amount of time. I mean, it's hard, if you're going to come into the pits, things can go wrong. We saw, was it a long stop? Was it Danny Rick who lost out? I
Yep,
feel.
Danny Rick, long. There were so many long pit stops. Everybody seemed to have one.
And it's going to be pretty sad as well, Matt, that we're going to see a lot of long stops now, aren't we? Because is it going to be capped
I
at
hate that new
5
rule.
seconds or something? Which,
I hate it.
I mean, yeah, it takes away some of the advantage, of good drills and expertise. And I also understand it because a lot of the mechanics have had to retire early from them roles, on the wheel gun. Because the amount of torque that is going through their tendons and their elbows and everything from the wheel gun, they can only do a couple of seasons before they are pretty much null and void, unless they are like, bench bodybuilders who can kind of hold that gun. But there is a hell of a lot of talk going through there, and but it's risk versus reward. Like we've seen even Red Bull, who had a slow stop today for Red Bull. I did hear something. I haven't watched the full thing.
Checo, the Perez was slow.
Yeah. And Max Verstappen as well in Monza. We saw him have an extraordinarily long stop. So by slowing it down a little bit, sometimes you can actually be more consistent, but more boring, like you say. So
It is weird, isn't it? Ever since they put that rule in place about making the pit stops slower, we seem to have more and more mistakes happening in the pits. It's weird. We got 16 seconds until the formation lap begins. That's pretty cool.
don't worry about that. So have you ever watched one of them classic races where they come in to refuel and they're just sitting there and they're just oh yeah, have you got a wheel, mate? Yeah, give us a wheel. Do that one first. Okay, we'll do that one. Yeah.
Cool. Watch out. Yeah, we'll just.
There's absolutely zero
what?
urges.
Mate, we'll just use a spanner on this one. Don't save the electricity bill. We don't need to use the wheel guns. Just use a spanner. It's fine, mate.
This is the fuel going in. Taking what 10 plus seconds at least normally. Just
Yeah, it was 2010, wasn't it? That was the first year that they banned refueling, and all of a sudden, the guys who used to change the tyres, they had a pretty. It was still a quick change, but
there's less
they
pressure.
weren't under that much pressure.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, the length of your pit stop is determined by how long it takes to change your tyres, and
I think the number
a
of
quick
personnel
pit stop used to be like 3 seconds.
Yeah, and I think the number of personnel, even though you haven't got the refueling rig anymore, I think they have more people, I feel, on the car, because for every corner you have 3 people, then you have 2 people to stabilise the car in the middle, then you have a front jack, a rear jack, you have someone to wipe his helmet, and I don't mean that in a rude way either, and also to clear the brake ducts. And yeah, how many people you got on the pit stop now? Around At least
Okay,
15 plus.
Yeah, you'd have 12 for the tyres, 2 stabilizers, that's 14. The 2 Jackman go up to 16, plus the spare ones, because they have spare Jackmans,
Yeah.
that's up to 18.
You can see Lewis
Do let me
just
know when I
whacks him
fuck
out
up math at some point here.
at will.
Guy with a fire extinguisher for 19. Couple people clearing brake ducts, 21. A lot of people. A lot of people.
Oh,
By the way,
yeah,
Yanni and B Ford have decided they don't want to. They've decided they're not taking part in the formation lap.
Thank you, guys. It means a lot to us. I mean, you need no temperature on these cold tyres anyway. Cold tyres, wet tyres.
Sure.
Excuse me.
You know. Well, yeah, you don't need temperature in cold tyres, Rich. That's what makes them cold tyres, mate.
They're minus 5,000 degrees. They're going to be frozen to the circuit. Enough jibber jabber. Matt, this is the French Grand Prix. This is the Republic of Motorsport. This is round 7. This is Matt from Connobia.
Yep, that's me. And you are right, it is the French Grand Prix, and you know what else? It's raining. And, well, you try to pull a 1,000 horsepower car away when it's raining this bad. We may see a Spinale here. Final car is getting into its grip position, and we are waiting for the lights to come on ahead of the drivers. It's Snipes on pole, it's Tommy Riel alongside him. We have 5 lights in France. And we are racing in Paul Ricard. Lorne jumps the gun. He picks up a drive-through straight off the bat, but it's Snipes who leads them away. Looks to have got the jump on Tommy Riel, covers the inside line, and he should be comfortably ahead as they turn left through the first corner. Tommy Riel, just pushes the back there of Snipes. The top 2 already building a small gap there as we got Smate into P3, Drassi P4, Yanni and B Ford side by side as they run down towards turn 3, and it's B Ford with the inside line who looks like he's going to get that one done. Squeezes the AlphaTauri on the left-hand side, is now coming under all sorts of pressure from Westerns in P7, and there's all side by side in the background there. The Alfa Romeo just pulls ahead of James in the Mercedes, but Snipes nailed the start and he's pulling clear of them behind. It's Tommy Riel P2, Nate's P3, then Drassi and B Ford.
So on the start there, everyone getting away pretty cleanly, apart from the McLaren driver, who is not in the race. He will be ghosting. Weston's up 4 positions off the start. Fantastic for him. The McLaren driver down 5 as he will be ghosting all the way through as Weston's makes up yet another position. Absolutely flying at this point. Make that 5 positions and up to P6.
We saw Smates there losing places. Not ideal for him. Drop down from P3 down to P5. Not what you want to see. As B Ford continues to put the pressure now on Drassi, the car ahead of him. The Alpine on its home soil.
And we have a yellow flag. That is Yanni.
Oh, we've got side by side as well there. Aki pulls ahead of Ludlow. We've also got James going for it with Lorne as there's contact, and round goes James at the penultimate corner. Well, it didn't take long for some collisions to happen there, did it?
So did you say with Lorne? Did Lorne maybe pull into the pits, and was it something to do with that?
That's probably the case.
Yeah.
Lorne is coming in to serve his drive-through.
Oh yeah. He took someone with him, and poor James. He's not had a good couple of weeks, has he?
Nope, was involved in the incident last week between B Ford and Vettel, and this week he's been spun around on lap 1. There's a long way to go in this one yet as the rain continues to pour here in France. Snipes leading ahead of Tommy Riel. The guys just got to settle into this one nice and slowly. Don't want to not really pushing straight away. Just find the limit, find the groove, and then you can just settle in to the rhythm of the race.
Yeah, one of the hardest jobs will be for the leader, Snipes SP, as we can see Tommy Riel keeping him honest at the minute. And we've got another yellow flag, and that is Tommy. Why did I say it?
What were you just saying? What were you just saying, Rich? Can you just repeat that for the viewers at home?
Tommy keeping him honest. Snipes with the hardest job. Clearly not. Hardest job is trying not to spinala a Ferrari.
Yeah, not ideal there, and I think the Ferrari may have some wing damage as well. Did it make the barriers? Yes, it did. And that is Tommy Riel with issues. It seems as he will have to trundle back to pit lane and go for a fresh nose Snipes then has just been given a nice 2-second advantage out front.
Yeah, that's the perfect place to be. He can start to control his pace at this point here. With 27 laps of this circuit, are we expecting a one-stop strategy? Some drivers could make it to the end, Matt, but what would you do in this kind of scenario?
One stop. You do just before half distance. You normally come in, get that nice sort of undercut advantage there, because that's always good in the wet. And then yeah, just get it through to the end. But of course, we're not expecting a fully wet race. I do believe we are expecting dry conditions come the checkered flag.
I don't believe it. Would you look out the window, Matt? You're expecting dry conditions?
I'm looking out the window,
oh,
and it's sunny skies, bright blue, few clouds.
Beeford's got a run.
Let's have a look at Beeford then, if he's got a run. If you insist. He's in the slipstream. He was closing, but he's just not going to close up enough to think about the move on Drazzy, and he's going to have to wait behind. But he's got a nice line there through that chicane. That's going to give him a better launch on the run down to Scene Corner. Gonna use his battery a bit to close up. I wouldn't want to go side by side into Scene Corner in the wet. I mean, that's just asking for death, really, isn't it? Oh, that's a bit wide, Beeford.
Yeah.
Get back on the track.
That's a 5-second penalty there. Awarded.
The drive-through, mate. You see how much time he gained. There was at least half a tenth in that. Unbelievable.
How many viewers we got, Matt?
Grand total of 1.
Are you watching yourself?
Probably. Yes. I know, Richard, I know.
Massively undervalued. Matthew Connerbeer, got to say, one of the hottest prospects in commentating. You should see this lad on some form of esports, if not circuit racing, single-seaters. Something somewhere. I mean, they really need to elevate this guy. Top lad, such a young lad as well, and we hope to see you up there, doing it for real sometime, Matt.
Oh, aren't you a sweetheart? Long story short, Crofty, I'm coming for you. Yeah. It would be a cool job doing the comms.
Well, it's easier said than done. You know, you need a lot of jibber jabber. You need to fill in the blanks.
Yeah.
You need to know your stuff. You need to know where to look, when. I'm sure it's easier with a race director to throw everything at you as well. As further back, Drazzy there, just pulling out of the slipstream, trying to get Beeford out of the dirt, or the toe there, shall we say, but not much spray. You know, considering how wet it is, Matt, riding on board with Beeford, you should be really struggling to see the apex right now, but it's pretty good conditions.
Yeah, Snipes isn't pulling away so much these as it stands. As Beeford, he had a cheeky little look there on the inside, didn't he? Thought about it and then didn't go for it, but he's very close here as they approach the penultimate corner. Is he going to think about the move? Switches to the outside. He's going to try and drive it round the outside. He'll get the inside for the final corner, but the Alpine covers that one off nicely. Great positioning from Drazzy there to cover that off, and Beeford has to tuck in behind and wait for a better opportunity. But that defensive driving just allows Snipes to ease away a little bit more. The gap now up to 2.3. Nice weaving, guys.
Moving up and down, side to side, like a roller coaster. Drazzy living life out there. Field quite spread out. All 12 cars. Even the McLaren driver finds himself in P11. And he's, I was going to say working from home. He's not even there. Just turned the laptop on and walked away. And go and watch some Netflix, it seems, but he finds himself potentially in for a point scoring position. As we can see, Ludlow just getting past, who's that, Yanni? Maybe a half spinner.
We saw Aki lose the place there, didn't we? I think he ran a bit wide. I don't know if that was contact or if Aki just decided, nah, I'm going to make the mistake. But Ludlow up to P7. D-Money's having a decent drive right now in P6.
Don't say it.
I don't think he's... Sorry. He's not scored a point all season, and I thought I'd give him a little mention in P6, but you're right, I have Probably screwed that one over. My bad.
So do we think a penalty inbound for Drazzy? In all seriousness, knowing this league.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
yeah. I think for sure. Penalty inbound. Oh, what's gone on there?
Maitland in the box.
Ah, that's what's gone on there. I was very confused
Maybe
for a moment.
intermediates. What we thinking right now? Conditions.
Rich, what's the weather looking like?
It's,
Is it inters?
it's easing off. I would say chuck on the inter here and see how deep you can go.
So box, this lap, box, this lap, into tyre.
A good
Bring
call
up the
here.
old tyre graphic then, shall we?
Williams double
There you
stacking.
go.
It's going to cost a little bit of time.
Dingers. Did it cost him that much or not?
I'd say maybe a second or so. It was pretty slick from the Williams boys. But we've got Guy Martin on the front right tyre this weekend.
Oh, standard.
So, what do you do now if you're the lead cars? Are you going to try and hang it out all the way for the dry
Look
conditions?
at the gap,
Surely not.
mate, to Yanni. That's what we need to do now. Because look, 8.1, 8.1, 8.0, 7.9. That gap is coming down.
Hand
Can't
over
help
fist.
but feel the inter tyre is the one to be on right now.
And Drazzy's closing in on the lead of this race now. 1.4 seconds separates the front two. If you're Snipes, I think you need to react right now. You have this race in your control. Gonna stay out. Drazzy in the box as well as B-Ford.
I think that's a mistake.
I think we've just seen a reverse
Sure,
of
that's a
Lando
mistake.
Norris here. Haven't we?
Yeah, the time is definitely right to come in. We can see that for the pace of the Williams. Of course, I know Snipes can't see that. He doesn't know for sure, but I just think it's definitely time. Drazzy and B-Ford take the opportunity to box, and I think that's going to cost Snipes as we got Yanni and Aki in the box.
So this would be a fantastic call here for Maitland. Could throw himself back into the lead fight here as we've got B-Ford and Drazzy exiting the pits, and here comes Maitland. He'll be right up the gearbox now. And he does.
Yeah,
he jumps B-Ford.
Yeah, puts himself in between the pair that were fighting for second and third. Snates ahead now of B-Ford and in a very good contention to go for the lead in a minute. Let's watch the gap then. Drazzy to Snipes this lap. Like, look, 2.5, 2.3, 22.2, 22.1. Snipes has lost the lead here, hasn't he? Surely.
Oh,
Snates giving it away. Just made up that place in the box and instantly gives it back to B-Ford there with a mistake. Was that under acceleration?
yeah, so here come the penalties. Aki and James first into the steward's room today. Now this is the thing, if you're Snipes here, do you bite the bullet and say, yeah, I got it wrong now? Or do you try and just stay out for as long as possible? Doesn't look like it's drying up anytime soon, does it, Matt? But it could be very deceiving. And yeah, what do you do?
He's going to get to drives that quickly. I think he'll lose the lead before that. Just box, surely. Nope, Snipes disagrees. He thinks that he obviously thinks it's drying up quick enough that it's best to stay out and not bother with that inter tyre. Go straight to slicks.
Oh, good split of strategy here. So only Snipes disagreeing with Jeff at the moment. 19 seconds the gap. Maitland with the fastest lap. Even after that mistake, of course the other guys did have the pit. So expect to see that change hands over the next couple of laps. Talking of which, second Williams driver's crossed the line. Bangs it in 43.082 for Big Dinger in P6.
Yep, Dingers and Ludlow trading fastest laps there. Yanni in P8, Aki P9 and James P10 rounding out the points positions so far. Yeah, they've all gone for inters, other than Snipes. And you've got to think here, realistically. I don't see the only guy choosing to go and stay out being correct when 12 others have decided it's probably better to come in.
You know, and it's just a complete role reversal of what we saw earlier today. You know, you're in the lead of the race. You don't want to give up track position. But in the long term, it's going to really bite you where it hurts. And it's coming down all the time. We're going to delve into 15 seconds now of gap to Drazi. And it really needs to stop raining right about now if this is going to work for Snipes, because they're going to be with him in the next 3 to 4 laps, you'd say, Matt.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's just check. We can have a look at the lap times as these guys come over the line. Snipes did a 46.9. Drazi is going to cross the line to do a 41.5. 5 seconds a lap faster than Snipes right now. It's going to be no contest. Drazi will end up ahead, as will B Ford and Smates, and maybe Westerns as well. Depends how long it takes for it to stop raining.
Well, there's the flip side. If the rain does hang around for a long time, Matt, then, you know, maybe you can do your second pit stop around the midway mark, go on to a set of intermediates, and then have enough tyre life to make it last towards the end of the race. But they did say that we're expecting a dry period towards the end. Did they say exactly when? Do we have any inkling? I know it's approximate.
Negative, just wet to dry, that's all we know. I would assume fairly soon though, if Snipes thinks it's worth trying to stay out. If it was going to be like 10 laps away, I think he would have just, bite the bullet and just box, cut your losses, because at this rate he will lose more time than he'd gain from that.
Maitland with another big moment there, manages to hold on to the rear end of that Williams car. But yeah, I mean, everyone else probably going to 2-stop from here. Even if it doesn't stop raining, you would imagine. Snipes maybe going for the 1-stop strategy, and could potentially still pay off if we go on to the Inter and we don't see any dry running towards the end. But he's going to have to pray that the rain stays out when he boxes. Oh, Maitland.
Smates, stop bottling it. Come on, we need better from you.
Look at that gap now.
Yeah, 6.5 seconds, 6.3, 6.1. It's a gamble that Snipes has taken. It's just not going to pay off. If he boxes now, where does he come out? If he was to pit, be like 7th, wouldn't he? 8th, 9th. Well down the
I'd say around P9.
Yeah, he's screwed himself a bit here. Really needs this rain to just stop, which it doesn't look like it's doing. It's going to be a gradual transition to the dry conditions we expect. We need that little AWS graphic now, like
Yeah.
the battle graphic, battle forecast.
He's crawling around. They're going to be with him any time now. 2.9
Overtake
seconds.
expected in 1 lap.
Here he comes.
Difficulty
Box.
0%.
Box. Snipes in the pits.
There you go.
So I think
a little too late.
he's got 10 seconds for Tommy. That must have been a real naughty one. But yeah, I must imagine
Decided to miss the chicane there.
Snipes is going to try and take it to the end of the race from here. That's the only way. Yeah. He's going to go for this one and only stop. He's going to put himself in traffic, isn't he?
Well, he was leading this race. He's now how far off the lead? Shall we have a quick look? He is 19 seconds off the lead.
Oh, Tommy. Oh.
Fab.
Thanks, Tommy.
So we're
I
down
hope
to
we
11.
get a safety car now. Let's see you regret that.
Yeah. You fancy causing one?
How? Can I just bomb the circuit, or what do I have to do?
Well, I was thinking if you just walk onto the circuit, they'll have to safety car it.
Or we can streak.
You can. Yeah, that'd be good for your OnlyFans.
Yeah. Free publicity there.
Yeah, although people might get their own videos then and then not need to pay for yours. So might not be a good marketing strategy. We'll see. Once again, back to racing. Grazzi, we were saying he's overdue a victory. He does now lead the French Grand Prix. There's a long way to go though, that is for sure. Not even half distance yet.
Yeah, all to play for. Like we were saying earlier, the worst thing that could happen to Snipes right now is it stops raining and the clouds are forever getting lighter. Less grey overheads, but the track is still very damp. And what do you think the latest, or should I say the earliest, it could stop raining and you can make it to the end on a set of intermediates without struggling too much? 5 laps in the drying track? What would you say, man?
Yeah, not many. Yeah, probably about that, 5 laps-ish. Be interesting to see if anybody would choose that strategy. We'll find out. We got 15 laps to go here at Paul Ricard, and so far, smooth sailing for the front two. Mates has had a couple of mistakes, but on the whole, fairly smooth sailing. Weston's falling away from the leading 3, but he's getting 12 points at this rate. He will take that.
Just goes to show that having your car in the right operating window, how much time you can make up, because Snipes has 4 lap younger tyres now than the leaders, but by staying out those 4 extra laps, really cost him around a whole pit stop almost. You're talking around a good 20 plus seconds, and you know, when you're fighting for a 10th every lap, it's a lot of time to make up.
Yeah, he has he's going to need a safety car really to bring him back in, because now his Drazzi's at the fast lap of the race, a 41.1. Nicely done. It's not dramatically quicker than our previous fastest lap, I think, so I don't know how much of that is the track maybe getting dry if the rain is lightening up at all. Snipes with a 40.9. Again, proving his pace that he has, so it's a really, I don't know why he took the strategy that he did. It was unnecessary. He was leading the race, he could have just pit when the guys behind him did, and he'd still be P1 right now.
It is what it is, but a good battle brewing in the battle for P5. Team Money followed by Ludlow and the fast charging Snipes SB. Of course, the 2 Alfa Romeos will be Linus Stone, Ludlow and Snipes. I don't expect them to be communicating. This will just be a bit of mutual understanding at this point. Seeing Snipes fly on by, those lap times pop up, and he's going to pull over already and let Snipes go very easily there. That was rather exaggerated.
It's good teamwork for the 2 Alfa Romeos. They know that Snipes is going to be faster at this phase of the race, and that they need to just let him push on and try and recover from this poor strategy decision.
Yeah, really needs to clear dingers. First available opportunity. Battle for P5 here. Out front, Drazzi leads B Ford now by 1.7 seconds. After B Ford's early pace, Drazzi has asserted himself for the time being, up to 1.8. Then Maitland further 1.1 behind. He does have some penalties to his name, as well as Westerns and yellow flag deployed. That looks like maybe. Yeah, I think that was for Aki.
Haas facing the wrong way. That's pretty standard stuff, isn't it? Nothing to be surprised about. Snipes going to make the move on Dingers here, I reckon. I don't think Phil wants to hang about. Oh, he's definitely going to now. That's a mistake from D-Money. Lost the rear end there. That's easy now for Snipes, surely, to breeze past down the straight. Or have the inside into the chicane, and Dingers chooses to get off the overtake button and just allow the Alfa Romeo by. Yeah, easy to do in that corner. A pretty tricky traction zone in the dry, in the rain. It's horrible. So understandable. Yellow flags. Virtual safety car. Why? I see Smate's going slow. I know he's dropped away a bit. He's got no front wing either.
He's whacked the wall somewhere.
Okay. I don't know how he's managed that, because the walls are pretty far away from the circuit, but there you go, virtual safety car has been deployed. Anybody going to take a cheap pit stop? I doubt it, other than, obviously, oh, Yanni.
Well,
You silly goose. Oh, DRS enabled.
oh, here
Time
we go.
has come.
Who's put the wet to the dry tyres on? No one yet. What we got out in the pit lane here? We got mediums.
Mediums for Maitland.
Honestly, Snipes. It must be. Jeff's been on the blower. Yes! Medium tyres. Holy moly. About to get tasty.
Track still looks really wet though, and it's still raining. I hate that on this game. Like, look at it. It does not look like it should be dry at all, but apparently it is. And let's follow the Delta on board with Smates to the car ahead and see if he is able to make up any time. And yeah, just about. He is closing up. The mediums are the tyre to be on. Yeah,
So,
he picks up another penalty.
this doesn't help Snipes, does it? Although he's got the jump on pitting a lap earlier from the lead cars, this is not going to play into his hands in terms of long-term strategy. The leaders need to react on this coming lap. Are we going to see them?
Yep, don't make the same mistake Snipes did the first time. Just get in now. And I think they are, yep, both going in. B Ford follows the Alpine into the pits. Westerns and Ludlow, I should imagine, will follow suit.
Yes, this has not worked out. On the alternate strategy, which we saw employed by the Alfa Romeo. Second Alfa Romeo will also come into the pits. Front to opt in for the mediums. We're going to say the same tyre choice for everyone.
Other than McLaren bot, which is on the soft, I think everybody is going for the medium. It's the right choice. The tyre will get to the end. The softs won't. If you go for soft, you'll have to pit again. The hards, well, the hards aren't very nice, and it's a bit pointless putting them on if you're only going to do 11 laps. So, mediums are the way to go, and the whole field has confirmed that.
And it stopped raining, and look how dry it almost looks.
Such a really quick transition there.
A bit fake, wouldn't you say? A bit fake.
Bit fake. Hashtag F1 2021. It's fake. Not real. Don't bother buying. It's fake.
So, gap to the leader. So Snipes is 13 seconds behind the race leader. So managed to take a bit of time out there by boxing and having a fresher intermediate. Ate a little bit into that 20 odd seconds which he did lose out on, and also boxing that lap earlier on the mediums has definitely done some kind of work, but you've got to feel that the race win is out the window at this point, and it looks like he'll secure a podium position. It's up to the front two to trip over each other if he has any chance of winning.
That's right, you front two. Trip over each other. Give us some entertainment for the last 11 laps. You know you want to. Snipes. Stop picking up time penalties. Uncalled for. Does pick up the fastest lap though. We do like that. Rich, just throwing this one out there. There's a safety car.
Box! Soft tyres, anyone? Anyone for soft tyres? We've got some soft tyres.
I'll take a set.
You'll take a set, Matt. Who else will?
Yeah, A-Fan. Let's find out.
Classic. And this will be music to Snipes', but he got a penalty. Oh. Naughty
Awful
snitch.
job.
He's pretty much guaranteed B4 won't get one. And if he does, he'll take it off. So, Drazzy, it's up to you, lads. Feel for Drazzy. He was controlling that delta time. And it's a bit of a slap in the face for him. Good chance for the likes of Dingers, though, to have a good result today. Ludlow as well. Potentially Lawn. And even the McLaren driver.
B forward pits. Drazzy does not. That's bold and brave.
Snipes stays out. Weston's
Also bold.
boxes.
I guess if you don't think you can get that set to the end, a set of softs, then you would stay out, wouldn't you? I should think everybody else would get a set of softs to the end for sure.
Well, you're going to have a brand new set, I would imagine. Even a scrub set. You're going to have a couple more laps behind the safety car. One of the harder wearing circuits, especially on that softer compound. A lot of energy going through the tyre, especially around sector 3 in particular.
So B4 for the win then?
Nah, Drazzy for the win. Come on, Drazzy. We was talking about you up earlier. Time to shine, baby.
He's currently being beaten by McLaren bot, who's doing an excellent race in P11.
So D-Money on the 1 warning. B Ford on 1 also. Drazzy on 2. So, to anyone watching the stream, who's your predictions?
I wouldn't get your hopes.
That's
up,
your
people
cue, Matt.
Typing in the chat, to be honest, Rich. I haven't even got it up anymore. Yeah, no, I've
That's what she said. Oh yeah.
Well, that's true as well. That's true. No, that's not what she said. She said, "Where is it? I can't find it." James into the box. James decided he wants to drop to the back, evidently, for a set of soft tyres.
Yeah, strange call. Should have done it in the first place, you'd have imagined, but
The Aston Martin safety car is nice.
it's very nice. That's what I'll be
Can you buy
driving
me
later.
one for Christmas?
No,
Why not?
no, you don't deserve it. You've been a bad boy. You're on Santa's
that's what
naughty
she
list.
said. No, buy me one for Christmas, else I'm gonna be very disappointed in you.
What's new?
Right, now that's settled. Look at the sky, Rich. Isn't it lovely and blue?
Yeah, outside it is. I don't know what I'm doing sitting here commentating, to be honest. Looking outside, it's lovely,
Great
man.
point. It is, isn't it?
Yeah, this is a lovely day.
You fancy going out for a stroll somewhere?
Yeah,
Um,
go for a cheeky pint or a Sunday lunch.
yeah, for sure, for sure. I'll go drag George out of his house. I have to find his house first, but once I found it, I will drag him out. Splendid. Safety car in this lap, surely.
The
Please,
sun
give
is
us-
shining. The weather is sweet.
I think Rich wants to do some karaoke for you, ladies and gentlemen.
I want you to know.
Ugh, I need to stop yawning. I've been doing it a lot. I think we're getting... Oh, that's a late call. I was about to say, I think we're getting safety car for another lap. Commentator's curse at just the perfect time. Drazzy's got to back the field right up then. And get ready to get rocking and racing once again. Smates will be looming in the background as we now wait for Drazzy to go for it. And he has then out of the final corner. He floors the throttle. And we are racing once again. Still weaving as the Alpine trying to get some heat into those tyres. 5-second penalty picked up there for James, I think that was. As we now swing through turn 1. It's Smates who leads ahead of... Drazzy ahead of Smates, ahead of Snipes, ahead of Ludlow and Beeford on the soft compound tyre in P5. He'll be looking to make his way through the field. He's got 4 places to make up in the space of 8 laps. Can he do it in his Mercedes? He needs to be averaging 1 car every 2 laps. We'll see what his pace is like as he gets on the power now and into the slipstream of Ludlow ahead of him. Cheeky weaving there from Drazzy. Trying to break the slipstream. It's worked for him because he's still ahead of Smates, but I don't think it was necessary there that time. I think he could have held the racing line. Got to watch it with the weaving. Sometimes it's okay, sometimes it's not. Meanwhile, my man Beeford going for it on the outside into Scene Corner is going to have to back out there. Surely just wasn't alongside enough. And Ludlow for now holds on to P4. P4 though will have so much more grip, especially in this part of the track. The final sector, Smates decides he doesn't need track limits. Picks up, by Smates.
And every sector
Fab.
is going to be critical right now because them softs are going to drop off the edge of a cliff in 2 or 3 laps time. So you really need to make your moves count, and very, very soon. And Beeford, you know, how lucky is this guy? Just got 1 for 3 there. That car fading into the sunset. That will be S-Mates, who will now be ghosting. And I'm sure that would have been maybe a rage quit after another penalty. You can just imagine, you can hear the voice in your head, can't you?
All I can hear is dingers. Dingers did a good impression of Smates earlier. It was very funny. D-Money, speaking of Dingers, is now ahead of his teammate as Smates continues to fall down the order because he didn't want the few points he was going to pick up. Meanwhile, Snipes closing on Drazzy slightly, but not anywhere near enough to think about an overtake. Beeford on the back of Ludlow. Is he going to send one? Don't be so silly.
Yeah, the sister Alfa Romeo there, currently in the podium position. He's fighting his own race here, but he's also fighting one for his teammate up ahead of him, and he needs to go super defensive and do everything he can to hold off the hard charging Mercedes, who looks to be outside. Can't quite get it done. He's going to try and switch back, get underneath the Alfa Romeo. Can't quite get it done as well, but surely he's going to get on the traction a bit nicer. Ludlow doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, great work there for the Alfa Romeo, positioning the car right where he needs to. And Beeford, I don't think he's going to take too many risks with the Alfa. He knows he's fighting for a championship this season. He can't afford to just throw away 12 points here just for the sake of it. DRS has now been enabled, and that is going to help Snipes and Beeford in their attempts to pass the cars ahead of them.
B4 with the penalty.
That's pretty crucial, isn't it? I'll love to see
Damn right
that.
crucial. So he now needs to overtake and stretch his leg to the tune of 3 seconds over Ludlow. So every corner now Ludlow can hold off as he tries to weave out of the slipstream here, but it's all in vain because B4's going to power on past and move himself up to P3. Now the job is for Ludlow to stay with him. We've got no DRS on this next straight here to use every ounce of energy that you can at this point here. Try to stay with the car ahead of you, and Snipes still hasn't got it done. Excellent driving from Drazzy out front, a lap younger medium tyres, and that's going to be critical in the later phases here, and who's got what left in the tank.
Yeah, Snipes with about 40% battery left, as has Drazzy. Let's check for B4, who's got a much better battery. He's at around 60% there, and that is going to be beneficial for him. He's got the advantage of his battery, the advantage of his tyres, not the advantage on penalties though. That could be the crucial thing in this one.
Snipes really hustling now as well, and he knows he needs to stretch his legs. He has the penalty, and critical for the two title protagonists, you'd have to call them, at the top of the championship order. And surely it's going to be like taking candy from a baby on this occasion. Snipes just needs a good exit, and he should be flying on by Drazzy. Here we go. He's not got the exit though. Just hovering around that 3 temps. He's not going to be close enough into the braking phase. Just going to try feel the mirrors of the Alpine.
Yeah, that little look there, just to help him spot his braking point, perhaps put the Alpine under some pressure, but nothing doing there for Snipes. He's going to have to stay up behind for the next few corners at least, as he is now gaining on the run to Scene corner. Is he going to think about the move into Lavose? He's going to have to go to the outside, and he is going to try it round the outside. Surely not. It's such a long corner, but Snipes is going to hang on in there, and he's going to go dancing around the outside. He'll now have the inside as we power our way through the final sector. Snipes pulling ahead, and is now ahead and into the lead of the French Grand Prix. Drazzy is not going to give this one up, but he now has to give it up through the penultimate corner. Lovely move from Snipes there. He has, however, just done it. He's given the DRS straight to Drazzy, who's only 4 tenths back as they come onto the pit straight. Drazzy going to be able to fight back into turn 1.
Drazzy with the penalty as well, so the top 3. This is a straight shootout to the end of the race now, and this has just gone from excellent to fantastic for for Snipes now. He's got the lead of the race. He knows he doesn't need that 3-second advantage. He just needs to command it into the final laps. Lap 24 of 27. Here at Paul Ricard, Snipes leads from Drazzy, B-Ford, and it's a straight shootout. Has B-Ford got any life left in them tyres now, Matt? 6 laps old. Are they starting to fade?
Yeah, they definitely won't be feeling comfortable anymore, and I think you can see that gap at 1.5 seconds to the guys ahead who have been battling. He really needs to get into that DRS range if he wants to win this Grand Prix.
Change of the lead. Drazzy retakes it.
Nicely done there for the Alpine, puts himself back ahead, but Snipes surely not going to give this one up. He's going to continue to fight. There is Drazzy weaving around on the straight there. I know he's just trying to break the slipstream, but you've got to be careful as he now hits the D-rates on the battery. Snipes thinking about it again, perhaps in the final sector, not on this occasion. Perhaps knows this time it's best to wait until he's on the straight with some DRS.
So great racing on display here. Let's not count out Ludlow for a penalty. 2.3 seconds behind B-Ford, and could find himself on a podium. Just keeps it clean.
Nice. Wow,
Is that
what's
a lag?
happening to Drazzy there?
Just
Yeah,
lagged
lagged
backwards.
behind Snipes.
Sort of inserted
No
himself.
Interesting. Cool. Snipes now leads, and B-Ford is in DRS range of Drazzy, who is... Oh, Snipes with another penalty. Oh, that's 6 seconds, and that's going to be crucial for him. Let's actually put Ludlow in the net race lead right now. Meanwhile, B Ford now with the DRS advantage closing up to Drazzy, but not going to be anywhere near close enough to do anything on that occasion. We'll have to wait at least one more lap, you would expect. Rich, what are we saying? Who's going to win this race?
I'm going for D-Money.
D-Money? Yeah, fair enough. The man in P6. No penalties to his name, but he's looking a bit too far back to capitalise. At the moment, B Ford looking like he could do it. Drazzy could do it. Ludlow could do it. With his lack of penalties at the moment, it's Snipes who, with his penalties, at this rate, probably isn't going to do it. Unless, of course, the guys behind him all decide that they too would like to exceed track limits a few more times. Or crash into each other. One of the two. D-Money and Westerns battling through the first couple of corners. Oh, was there contact there? Or did D-Money just get squeezed as he drops down now to P7, was P5, and he's got the Alpha Tauri of Yanni all over the back of him there. The battle for P5, Westerns now on top of that one. But on those 8-lap old soft compound tyres, they will not be feeling comfy anymore, that is for sure.
Come on, Ludlow. We're on the penultimate lap of this race, and he's really thrown his hat into the ring. One Alpha, you know, could have had it, should have had it many a time in this race. And them squabbling at the front of the order, it's just Aidan Ludlow who's just chipping on by here. Just keep on doing what you're doing, son. You're doing fantastic at the minute. Snipes leads from Jazzy, B Ford, Ludlow, Westerns, Lawn, D-Money, Yanni, James and Aki, your top 10. And then it's Maitland who decided to depart, shall we say. And the McLaren driver, Tommy, had enough, sped into the pit lane and retired. So in theory, if you're finishing, you're scoring.
Is Drazzy going to risk a pass then on Snipes on this occasion? You think not. You think just hold position. Just make sure you're staying ahead of B Ford. That's the one you're fighting. And Drazzy not going for anything into turn 1. B Ford right on his gearbox. And Ludlow just hanging on in there. Well in range to win this race as it stands. Don't make a mistake here. And Ludlow is going to win the Grand Prix.
Matt, get a good view of this because it's about to go down. And there's going to be some handbags in this last lap. You betcha. Going to be some sends, potentially some ends. And hold on to your butts.
Holding on right now as the leaders close up on each other. Drazzy, look to the inside there. Oh, for crying out loud, Drazzy. He's only gone and bottled it. He's only gone and bottled a P2. Picks up a penalty, and now he's got to do Snipes on track, and he is going to try and do it. Looks to the outside of Lavose, picks up another penalty. Drazzy, what's happened on the final lap? You were looking so good, now you're not. Oh, B Ford now looks for the... I thought he was going to launch one there and just take the pair of them out. Hasn't done it. All plays into the hands of Ludlow, who's just hanging on in there rather comfortably. He's going to take the race win here. They're coming through the final corner, and despite the cars all being in so close together, it's going to be the guy in fourth who's going to cross the line to win the Grand Prix. It's Ludlow who takes victory in France. B4 P2, Snipes P3, Drazzy disappointed with P6 in the end as Lorne and D-Money make up those places. It's Weston 7th, Yanni P8. That was a race pretty much entirely decided by penalties, but in the end, Ludlow's only gone and won it.
Get in there, Ludlow! You are the man!
Very well deserved drive of the day as well for him.
That's a lesson to all the children. You can accomplish your dreams if you don't cheat.
Yeah, long story short, don't cut corners.
in life and on track. Hey, Matt.
Yes, but especially on track, because we don't give life advice here, Rich. We're not wise enough for that. We're hardly wise enough to be giving out advice of what to do on track, but you know what? We move. There you are. There's your final race standings. It's Ludlow who's won it. At a B Ford, Snipes, Lawn, D Money, Drazzy, Westons, Yanni, James, Aki, Spates, Pez, and Tommy Real. P13. That's been the French Grand Prix. I've been Matt. Rich has been Rich. Anything else you want to say to the stream?
Well done, Ludlow. I mean, very well deserved. And it's raining again, Matt. Would you look at that?
Yeah. I have noticed that the heavens opened after the line in traditional Formula 1 fashion. We'll be back next week, maybe. Potentially. I think it's the Portuguese Grand Prix next week. That's going to be fun. Yeah. We'll see you there. Maybe.